Good morning. How are you doing today? So, hopefully you can hear me. Hopefully you can see me. I think you can see me because I can see me. Welcome back to art class. Happy Monday morning. Today we're going to be drawing. Let's see if I can put up the what we're going to be drawing today. I thought I did that. Graphics, full screen. I did that a second ago. And it disappeared, I guess. Alright, done. Hopefully. Does that work? There we go. Alright, so this is what we're going to be drawing today. Got some apples up here. Yeah, we're just going to draw them. We've got, I put in in the box some drapery. It's just a piece of cloth that I have in the house. And I've got two apples. My light is shining directly from above them. And so that's where we are right now. I'm just going to put this over in the corner though. Turn that one off. That way I can do things like that. So we're working back with our Bristol board. So we've got our 11 by 14 Bristol board. This is going to get cut off pretty significantly. This is not a large drawing, so I might only be using about half of this piece of paper, which is fine. We're back to using our pencils. So I've got my pencil set out here, ready to go. And I've got my art camera here ready to go with my Bristol board and my nice stiff board here. So let's just get moving with this, right? So I wanted to do I'm not going to do that today. I wanted to do a gesture drawing with you guys just to kind of show you, but I'm not going to do that today. I'm just going to get started drawing this. I got a little bit of a late start this morning. Mondays are always like that, right? I think I've got a little bit of a cold. You know, that is what it is. I can't do much about that. So we'll start doing a little sketching with the 3H. And let's just get started. So, looking at this, so I'm coming down, looking at this from, you know, looking down on it slightly, which is pretty much the angle that I've got on the picture up there. What I want to do is kind of sketch in the contours of what you see here. Pull that in. So we've got the two apples, they overlap slightly, and we've got the drapery in the background. So this is your first experience possibly with drapery. There's some texture on the drapery. For the most part, I'm going to ignore that. I might put some hints of texture in there, but I'm going to ignore that for the most part. So let's just get going. I'm procrastinating, I feel like. So move that up a little bit so you can see better. Let's see, I'm over here. So let's just get started. I want my apples to be fairly large on the page here. I'm gonna kind of sketch in my apples very roughly to start with, just to kind of understand where they are in relationship to each other. So there's the front one. Got the stem that comes out somewhere around there. We've got the other one is a little set slightly further back. And a little taller than the other one. All right, so let's say that's where our apples are. And then let's rough in some of that drapery in the background. So somewhere around the middle of that apple, we've got a big fold. I'm drawing super light because I'm going to assume things are going to change as I go. There's a fold over here. Oh, this is interesting. See, I've already made a slight mistake. Not a mistake, just I'm sketching. So that's part of the deal of sketching, right? You want to fix things as you go. So my apple's here. I've got this fold that comes up to the left here. Well, I'll make sure that goes up a little bit, right? And it comes back down on this side. So it's like it's almost like an arrow pointing up. So welcome to art class. If you haven't been here before, my name is Jason. And I have been an artist for a long time. Studied art school. And I really enjoy still life quite a bit. I like drawing things that I see. I like a lot of other arts, but I really enjoy still life. I think that there's a lot of good learning that can be done through still life. All right, and so we've got the folds over there, kind of. They look really liney right now, right? There's not much to them. And we've got a fold over here that kind of comes up, maybe a little bit further left. Kind of comes up like that. Over here like that, and then it kind of comes down. Hope you can see. Oh, you can't really see this in the picture, but I'm going to draw it anyways because I like that fold. The one just to the right of that apple there. So hopefully you're setting up your own setup so you're working from life, from something that you can see in front of you. You can be using anything you want, really. I chose apples because certainly a common thing that everybody knows what it is. It's not some kind of weird fruit that is from some place unknown. Bananas, or you can use grapes if you want to, if you think that you're up for that kind of a challenge. Grapes, there's a lot of grapes on a single, grape fold that's right here. It goes underneath like that. All right, so let's get these apples kind of sketched in a little bit more. I'm going to keep going with my 3H here. Nice, thank you for letting me know that you can hear and see. Always good to have my friend here to help me out and make sure I know what's going on. I don't look down at my chat all the time because I'm busy drawing, but if you have any questions or if you talk about anything, let me know. So now I'm just looking at the contour of this apple. I don't want to draw it in too dark because, again, the finished drawing is not about drawing the contours. I'm going to take my time with this drawing. It's going to take a couple of days. And at the end, you shouldn't see lines anymore. You should only see form. You want those lines to disappear. You want those contours to go away. So we're only putting in these lines for reference. After that, it's about shading and creating form. All right, and then, so if we look at this apple, right, you can see those striations in the apple, right? You can see those, how that apple turns to the center of that apple. I don't know how to explain it, but you know, all those striations, I would call them, they all kind of come into that central part where the apple grows, the stem, right? That stem is up a little bit higher, I feel. So apple season just ended here. It's a very popular season. Apples are very popular where I live. And we even have an apple harvest festival every year where I live, where they have vendors and street food and it's too crowded for me though. I don't usually like to go. I like to stay home where it's quiet. All right, so the stem is around there. I like that. It might be slightly higher. I'm going to leave it there. So if that's, so maybe the apple itself is a little bit, comes down. So I'm looking at the apple, this curve here. Yeah, I think that's what the case is. Yep. All right. And then the other one, what I'd call the the butt of the apple, the bottom, is right here. All right. This one's very round. This one has these kind of interesting bumps. This one in the back here is very round. Oh, you know what I didn't do? I'm recording my camera. It's okay. I'll get this art cam going. I can grab my. There we go. So I think that's a good start. I think what I want to do now is I want to start getting some shading in there. So I'm going to go fairly dark. I'm going to go up to, say like a 3B. I think that's this one right here. I pre-sharpened my pencils, so I didn't have to mess with them too much. All right, I'm going to start with the background, right? So I'm going to squint, and I'm going to look at that background, and I know I'm going to go way up here first. And this is just a first pass at the shading. I don't want to go too dark too quick. Pencil is an additive process. right? So if you spend too much time taking pencil away with your eraser, that's really not what you want to do. You want to add pencil. Try not, you know, when you have to, you take it away, but the goal is to add it. And I'm sure there's techniques where taking the pencil away is something you want to do. I'm just rambling, really. It's going to be very sketchy to start out. Don't worry about it. Let's see. The shadow back here. I feel like I've got a little cold today. It's a busy weekend. Probably overdid it a little bit. And this, I'm going to work on the right side here. You can't really see it too well in my pictures here, but in this section here, I've got some folds that I need to get in there. And then from way up here, there's, I don't want to go too high, but I'm already way up there, aren't I? That's fine. Let's move back down here. Doing a lot of squinting. There's really no white in this drawing. So we might use a little white to increase the contrast a little bit, but for the most part there will be value everywhere. All right, now this is an interesting shadow here because it involves a fold that goes up like that, and then the shadow comes around, there's another fold that bubbles up slightly right there, and then dips down right here, and goes around like that, something like that. And then back here I can see a peak, a little peak of light in between the apples there. All right, and here, this fold here, and it's really dark under there because there's a deep fold right in there. There's actually another piece that comes up like that too. Now here is an interesting thing. Boy, made some boo-boos already. I think I made this apple too big. Now, something I've noticed as I'm sitting here and I'm looking at my object here, one thing I did not do is I didn't like measure things. So I will put my arm out and close my left eye because I'm right eye dominant, and I'll put the pencil out. And as I do that, I see that the left side of this apple here is much lower than this apple here. So really, this needs to go up quite a bit. This let me see. All right, so if we've got this here, this comes down there, and then the bottom of that apple is like right here. And where is that? Looking at that little peak of light in between the two apples, and I'm sizing it up with the apple stem to this peak of light. That actually is, boy, that can't be right though, because this apple, if that's down there, it's got to go up a little bit. All right, I've got some erasing to do. That's a little bit off. I think that's okay there, since this apple needs to go up so much higher. Excuse me for clearing my throat. Like I said, I've got a bit of a cold. That butt's got to go up too. All right, so that's about right there. If that's right there, you see it goes down through there, and it comes out about there at that angle there. Then it quickly turns. And then So the lesson here is you've got to constantly, and it's okay to modify things as you go. Um, drawing is not about, there's very few people who can draw things the first time out and get it perfect. And quite honestly, I don't expect this to be perfect. I don't want to be perfect. It's my drawing. I'll do it the way I want to. I want it to be accurate. Yes, of course I want it to be accurate. All right, so it's funny, the butt and the stem are almost in alignment. Let's say the butt is a little bit lower. Maybe here. All right. So I think I drew this apple too big. I think that was the biggest issue, is that I just drew it too large, especially on the bottom half there. This top half doesn't look too bad. Like I said, it's almost round. That's not too bad. All right, that's okay. Now we can continue to get the shadowing down here. So this shadow from the apple, let's see. Gotta fix some things over here. Yeah, that's better. So the shadow comes out around here, comes down. We've got this little fold. Here. This is all shadow here. And then it goes up to there. And this goes around. There's like this fold comes out there. That's looking much better. This was much too long. It was way down here before. This fold looks much better now. And then it goes down like that. We'll have some fixing to do in a little bit, but that's okay. Like I said, this looks much better. And then that's there. This fold is way up here, which looks right to me. Alright, that looks fine. Now, we've got this back here is really dark. And then always comparing to everything else that's going on around you. So I've got the shadow that comes up like that. I'll get some more detail on the shadows too. I know I'm just kind of shading them all one shade right now. That is intentional. I'm just blocking in where everything is so that I can kind of compare, contrast where all the different pieces are. Alright, so that goes up like that, and I've got this kind of this S fold here that comes up and around, and then comes down like that, like here. Goes up and back down. So it ends up making an S shape. There we go. And there's some shadow up here. You probably can't see it in my, well, you can see it a little bit. I've got this shape that comes down and goes up here. I don't know if I'll draw those in or not. Maybe I'll draw a little bit of them in. I'm trying to look to see how big this drawing will be. So I guess some of that shape is in there. And then there's a slight tone. I'm just going to very lightly. There's a tone over here. There's a tone over here. There's tones down here that I didn't put in. And we haven't even touched the apples yet. What time is it? All right, we've got a few more minutes. Just get some really basic shading on these apples. All right. That's not looking too shabby. Not too bad. And I'll have some corrections to make on the shadows, the folds in the background. But that's a good start. I'd say it's starting to look like apples. Hopefully you think the same. Yeah, I'd say that looks pretty good. All right, I think I'm gonna leave it for there now. I don't want to get involved and then I've got to go, as usual. So I will be back this afternoon and we'll draw some more. And hopefully you are drawing along with me and you've got some apples or some other fruit that you're working with. And if you don't have the drapery, that's okay. You can just draw the apples or whatever fruit you're working with. But I think I'm happy with that for now. Let me put this up here so it's out of the way. Put my eraser down. All right. So I hope you are having a good start to your Monday drawing with me, and I hope to see you again this afternoon. I'll be back at 12. Again, thank you so much for joining me, and happy drawing. Have a great day.